Hey YouTube, this is Jaden from Team ShadowStrike again, coming at you with another deck profile. Just to get more videos on the channel, I just created it today. Finally had some free time from school. But anyway, here's the deck. The deck that I'm going to be profiling this time is my Shadow Paladin deck. It's the Phantom Blaster Overlord version. So, let's just go ahead and get right into the deck. Grade zeros, obviously we got Full Bow. He's our starter. I'm gonna assume you know what he does. If you don't, look it up yourself. 4 critical triggers, 4 Grim Reaper. Well, I mean 8 critical triggers. I'm sorry, 4 Death Feathers, so 8 criticals in total. 4 draw triggers, 4 Abyss Freezer. And then 4 heal triggers. I'm so glad that we no longer have to play Star Darkside Trumpeter. I hate stand triggers in this deck. Grade 1s. 4 Blaster Javelin. Searches out that Blaster Dark and can search out that Phantom Blaster. 4 Dark Shield Maclear. 4 Perfect Guards. We need them. 4 Black Sage Karen, it is our 8k booster, and then 3 Nightmare Painter. The reason I play 3 Nightmare Painter is I like hitting the cross ride earlier and not having to ride Phantom Blaster Dragon and then ride Overlord. And the reason I play 3 is I don't play Dark Sage Maka, and I have 3 in my trade book, and they're 4 trade. I'm just not a fan of Maka Macho. The one where you counterblast 2 and you call something in the same column. And the combo is you call it, you counterblast 2, you call a Nightmare Painter, and you get the effect off. I mean, yeah, that could work, but I don't want to waste 2 counterblasts like that, to be honest with you. I'd rather use them for other things. So that's why I play 3 Nightmare Painter. For grade 2s, we have 2 copies of Blaster Dark. I love Blaster Dark dearly. It's one of my favorite cards in the world, but there's no point in playing more than 2. Because he's really just in there to get us that guaranteed grade 2 if we get Javelin in our hand. And you might use his effect 30% of the time, depending on who you're playing against. Like if you're playing against a Royal Paladin player, you go first, they go second, and they crit you. You might flip over both damage and retire their Wingle Brave just to get that out of the way. But 2 Blaster Dark's really all you need. If his effect could be used on the rear guard too, I'd probably play 3 then. But then 4 Masquerade. This is one of your MVPs. He can get up to insane numbers. You put an 8k booster behind him, and you have a Blaster Vanguard. He goes up to 20k, so it helps you get your 20k columns. Hits those magic numbers. I play 3 Skull Witch Nemain. It's your Yu-Gi-Oh! Term reference here. It's your Pot of Greed. You drop 1 and draw 2, so it's a +1. And very, very good card. I see some players saying they only play 2 of these in a Phantom Blaster Overlord deck. I'm going to play 3. I like her. She's won me games. And then 2 Curse Lancer, because we do counterblast. Sometimes you might want one of these to help you flip some damage up if possible. So just 2 Curse Lancer. I've thought about maybe dropping a grade 1 for a 3rd, but I don't know. I mean, and honestly, the deck right now is actually playing really well. So I really don't see any reason to change it. Then for grade 3s, I play 7 grade 3s. I play 3 Phantom Blaster Dragons. I have 2 SPs and then 1 of this ugly one. If you have an SP of this, I do want it. And I will make this part of the trade. So if you have an SP Phantom Blaster Dragon, that way you're not out of a Phantom Blaster Dragon. I'll make this part of the trade. And we can add things to it, obviously, since this is, I think, right now going for 85. And this is only like 30 or 25 somewhere in there. We can even it out, and I will make this part of the trade. So you still have a Phantom Blaster Dragon, if that would make it easier for you. And then our boss monster, 4 copies of the Cross Ride, 4 Phantom Blaster Overlords. He gains 2,000 power at all times if Phantom Blaster Dragon's in the soul. Counterblast 3, drop a copy, and he gains plus 10,000 1 critical when he swings. Honestly, I was talking to this about with my friend today at our locals. If I really think Dragonic Overlord and his cost should have been switched. And by that, I mean, I think Dragonic Overlord's cost, Overlord the End's cost, should be Counterblast 3 and drop a copy to restand him and keep the Twin Drive. Because Overlord keeps the Twin Drive. I think he should be Counterblast 2 and drop a copy to get plus 10,000 in a crit. But they both have their strengths and weaknesses. Him, you can cross-ride a turn early with Nightmare Painter. Kagros don't have that luxury, so maybe that was what Bushiroad was thinking. I don't know if Kagros is going to get a card like Nightmare Painter or Dream Painter, like Shadow and Royals Paladins have. But I like Phantom Blaster Overlord. The deck works out really well, and I have, every time I do get his effect off, I do win. So, I mean, he's a good card. He's a good, Shadow Paladin is, in my opinion, one of the top decks. So, but then again, I think any deck can be a top deck. It just depends on the player using it. But anyway, this has been my Shadow Paladin deck profile. Do me a favor and press that comment button down there, and like, subscribe, all that shit. If you have any questions about the deck on why I run certain cards, I always I welcome questions, because sometimes if I'll just go on YouTube and I'll research other people's builds to see how they're playing it. I might send them a message and saying, look, I'm just asking because I'm curious. I'm not being nosy. I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but why do you play a certain amount of this card? Why do you play this card instead? And I don't see this card in your deck. Why do you choose it? I just like to hear people's opinions. So if you would like any of my opinions on my deck choices or the amount of certain cards I use, I'll be more than happy to answer you, because that's how you learn. But anyway, Shadow Paladin deck profile. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys later.